Good afternoon, everyone. Friday afternoon, Erev Shabbos, Parshas Metzora, Shabbos Hagadol. We're going to do a Rashi from towards the end of the Parsha. Yesterday, we started speaking about another form of tsaras mentioned towards the end of the Parsha, which is tsaras habayis. We talked about the tsaras of the home that we build in Eretz Yisrael. We talked about the concept of God giving us this gift. The Amorites used to hide treasures in the walls of our homes. When we came into the land, we wouldn't have known about them because if there's tsaras on the home, we have to dismantle the stone and eventually the wall and perhaps even the home. We would discover all these hidden treasures, the things that perhaps sometimes are most precious to us are hidden beneath the surface, things that we have to look for, things we have to dig for, things that we come upon because HaKadosh Baruch Hu points us in the right direction. Very powerful idea. I want to go to the very next psukim here, which discuss the process of declaring a home tameh, as I think it has a very important lesson for us as well. Torah tells us when you have a nega on your home, uva asher lo habayis v'yid la kohen. Of course, you have to involve the kohen in the process, just like with tsaras that's on your body. You have to come and tell the kohen, kinega nir ali babayis. It's as if I see this kind of nega in my home. But then what happens next is very interesting. First of all, I pointed out this morning, the pasuk says over here, "Ritziva haKohen ufino sabayis beterem yavo haKohen." The Kohen tells you that you should empty your home before the Kohen comes. Now, I pointed out this morning in this Rashi after Shul, beterem yavo haKohen shekol zman shein Kohen niskak lo ein sham toras tuma. This whole section reinforces something we learned last week in Parshas Tazria, which is the Kohen is integral to the declaration of tsaras, declaration of tuma. Even if a person is sure they have tsaras, they have all the signs, they could tell what it looks like, they could tell what it's supposed to be, they don't become tameh, they don't become officially impure until the Kohen declares them to be so. It's the same thing here with the home. You could see a blemish on the wall of your home. You could track it, you could know exactly what it's about until the Kohen comes to your home and declares it to be tameh. Your home is not tameh. Nothing has to be done in that regard. But after you come to the Kohen and you say, Kenega nir ali bebayis, I seem to have seen this nega in my home, the process that unfolds is very interesting. Step one of the process, before the Kohen comes and ever examines it, is Vitziva haKohen ufinu es habayis. The Kohen will command you to take everything out of your home. B'terem yavo haKohen liros es hanega. Before the Kohen ever comes to see the nega on your wall. Why does he tell you to empty the house before he declares the nega, before he comes to see the nega and potentially declares it to be tameh? V'lo yitma kol asher babayis, so that the things in the home don't become impure. Things contract tuma in all different kinds of ways, different levels of tuma, status of tuma, but suffice it to say, if the home was declared tameh because of the tsaras on the walls, many things in the home would now become impure and either have to be purified in mikvah or destroyed in order to get rid of the tuma. So to save the people that expense, that effort, that hardship of having to be metayar the entire possessions of their home, before the Kohen ever arrives, he tells them, empty the home, and then I'll come look. Then I'll come see the nega. And because it's only the declaration of the Kohen that causes the tuma to come, there's nothing flawed about this process. It's not circumventing the process at all. Even though the Kohen might know, based on the person's description, that there's tuma in the house, he can still say, well, before I arrive and declare it to be so, before the status takes effect, empty the home. There's no reason for all of your possessions to become tameh as well. This is what Rashi explains here. If he doesn't empty the home, the Kohen comes and declares the nega to be tameh, nizkak lahaskir, he might come to declare the house in isolation. That's step number one. If you're not sure what the nega is supposed to be, it's the weight, what is it going to turn into? So the whole house will be quarantined. You have no access to your stuff. You're going to be in trouble. The kol mashe betocho tameh, and then everything inside will become automatically tameh. V'alma chasa Torah, what does the Torah care about? Im al klei shetef yatvilam v'itaru, v'im al ochlum mashkim yochlam b'mei tumaso, halochasa Torah el al kli cheres, she'ein lam tara b'mikvah. Some of the stuff, it's not the end of the world, it becomes tameh. What was the Torah really concerned about here? If you have different metal vessels, okay, so you bring them to the mikvah. It's an effort, but you'll be able to be Metzora. Why is the Torah so stressed out about making sure you saved your possessions? If it's about metal, so you'll go to the mikvah to be a little bit of an effort, but not the biggest deal in the world. If it's about food and drink, also, you could eat them when you yourself are in a status of tumah. There's nothing wrong with eating tamei items, only if you're a kohen or if you have a status of eating bitara, then you're not allowed to eat those items. Okay, so save them for a day when you're tamei or for someone else who's tamei. They won't go to waste. So that's not a tremendous hardship. What was the Torah so concerned about? Kli cheres, earthenware vessels. Earthenware vessels cannot be corrected for tumah in a mikvah. They would have to be destroyed. And so Torah was chasa al mamonam shel Yisrael. The Torah was concerned for the financial well-being of the Jewish people. So concerned that the Torah instructs us to empty the house before the Kohen arrives so that you shouldn't come to waste even one earthenware vessel. Aside from the details of this one case, the power and the lesson of how much the Torah, Kadosh Baruch Hu, and eventually the Rabbanan, care about the financial well-being of the people is tremendous statement about how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu cares about us, but also a tremendous statement about how we should care about our possessions, about our materials as well, how we should be concerned for our own items, which often we disregard, we think of as insignificant, we take for granted. Every single thing we have is precious. Even a pen, insignificant pen. I lose pens all the time. Maybe I should take more care and concern about caring for my pen, looking after my pen, appreciating my pen. That's really the crux of it. Even if we don't translate this into the actions of actually caring more about our items, the fact that we can appreciate the items we have as much as HaKadosh Baruch Hu does can itself be a very valuable lesson for us. Have a great Shabbos, everyone, and Chag Kasher v'Sameach. If I don't see you before then, take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi. Have a happy,
Shabbat
everybody, good
Shalom.
Shabbos and have a happy Passover.
You too. We'll speak to you soon.